And we are live. How you guys doing? My name is Claude Diamond, and I love sales. I've been in sales all my life. It's given me prosperity, freedom, love that word, to live where I want, to not have to work for anyone else, work for myself. I love the opportunity, the freedom to work on my own. And I've written several books on sales, 9 books actually. The Mentor Teaches the Guts Sales Method, How to Sell with Guts. And Guts is essentially great, untraditional, unorthodox techniques of sales. And it just gave me so much freedom, prosperity. And I wanted to talk today about objections. I have a lot of students all over the world in 22 different countries. And by the way, in the chat there, if you want to get a copy of my book for free today, I usually sell it, but I'll give it away. I'm in a good mood. I'll give it away for free today. If you just have to go to claudediamond.com, it's in the chat box there. And you even get a training session with it if you'd like. You got to ask yourself, why do prospects do objections? They do objections because prospects love free shit. Okay, they want free stuff. They want to pick your brain, get as much free information as possible. They do objections because they do not know, like, and trust you yet. They are not emotionally involved. So the key to the gut sales method, one of our fundamentals is you got to get them emotionally involved early on. Most salespeople, when they get a prospect, they give them all the features and benefits. They start the slideshow. They do all those things. And what does the prospect always do? Number one sales objection. What is it? You know what it is. And you can put it, if you got a sales objection, by the way, and you want me to handle it, put it in the chat there and I'll give it my best shot. I've studied a lot of different aspects of psychology, persuasion, how to overcome these objections, these stalls from prospects. And how to, as my mentor used to say, how do we turn chicken shit into chicken salad? Okay. How do we get the prospect to say yes? And ask yourself, why do they do objections? Is they don't want to make a commitment. They don't want to spend money, but sometimes they might be interested in your topic, your product, your service. And they're going to bring up these objections. Well, I'll think about it. This is great. And prospects have a wonderful system. They want to get as much for free from you as possible without making that a commitment. And you got to ask yourself, why do they do objections? They're avoiding any kind of commitment at this time. They'll say nice things to you. They will nurture you. They'll stroke you. They'll compliment you. But then they're basically going to go and use the information you gave them and maybe beat up somebody else. So the thing about sales is you got to ask yourself, why are we in business? Why? We're in business. I don't know about you guys, and you can disagree with anything I say. I'm in business to make money today. Okay. And I was trained by, in my opinion, the world's greatest salesperson. His name was Max. I met him years ago. I wrote my first book about him, the Mentor Story of Success. I met this sweet guy, and I never, with all the education I've had in my life, I've gone to college, I have business school, law school, I have a doctorate in law, and all those other things. I've really studied. I went to all the seminars. I have books on my shelves here. This is my office. I'm in Winter Park, Colorado, by the way, today. And it's really literally after Labor Day, the leaves are changing already. We've gone right into fall. And the thing about it is, my mentor was great at sales. If you want to learn sales, the books, the seminars, and all those things are good. They're technical. They're motivational. You want to learn sales, you gotta be around somebody who's a great salesperson, not good, not adequate, and you've got to practice with them. Practice a lot, and practice and think about it. Make a list of all the typical objections that you usually get. You know these objections, don't you? You get them all the time, the same objections. I'll think about it. I'm going to talk to my spouse. Send me your contract. Let me check my finances. Give me some more. If you have any chat objections, put them in the chat room there. I love interaction, by the way, on there. And if you want to give me some thumbs up, sure. Don't you hate it? Every YouTube video, oh, subscribe, hit your thumbs up. I guess I just did it too. But it's that's why we fast forward when it's recorded. But this happens to be live right now. So the way in the gut sales method, we have, to show you here, I have a little mind map, and we have 3 little steps here on the bottom. And it's a simple system I developed that I learned from my mentor. It changed my life, by the way. I have to ask my wife, right, Mike? Hey, you know what? That's a great idea. I'm going to ask my wife too. Honey, is it okay if I sell Mike? Mike came to me with all these problems. He can't sleep at night. He's not making enough money. And I want to work with him and change his world and show him how to close in one phone call and double his income in the next 30. My wife said, it's okay, Mike. Now I do that. I'm a smart ass. All right. I do that sometimes with people. And a lot of times when they give you an objection, it's because you haven't done an agenda step up front. Okay. And I'll talk about the agenda in just one second, Mike. But the one thing is, I'll just go to them and say, hey, you know what? Listen, are you a newlywed? How long have you been married, Mike? Oh, a year, 5 years, 20 years? Okay, you sleep next to a woman all these years, and you're going to go to her, honey, I want to buy this real estate. I want to do Claude's mentoring coaching program, and I want to give him all this money. And your wife's going to kill you. So, Mike, isn't it really over? It's over, right? You know what she's going to say. So now that it's over, and then you go back to your sales. You ask those questions. Sales is not about presentations. Presentations are boring, snooze city. You've got to learn how to ask questions to get the prospect emotionally involved, to get the prospect interacting. There's something really magical that happens in sales, at least in my system. I ask questions initially, and I get the prospect this is big. If you're taking notes, write this down. I get the prospect to turn into the salesperson. Okay. I'll get the prospect. Gee, why are we talking today? What is your biggest challenge? What is your biggest problem? What's your goal? What would you like to see happen? Tell me how I could help you today before I go. Get the prospect talking more. This is going to be hard because I'm Grande Boca here, king of, you love sales, you love talking to people, you love communicating, but you got to get that prospect talking more than you. This is very difficult. You want that prospect almost like they're on a therapist couch. Okay, you want them to reveal what their needs, their greeds, their pains, their problems, their issues. Get them talking about themselves and collect what we call 3 to 6 needs and greeds. And you turn, and this is really doesn't have to do as much with objections as getting commitments up front. And you say to the prospect, if you found a solution to these problems, to making more money, to getting more contracts, to overcoming objections, what would you do next? And boom, you're trying to get commitments and get them up the S ladder. But think about what are the most common objections you get from your prospect, and you want to do an agenda. Agenda is the first step in my book, books of the gut sales method. You set an agenda, and basically you say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'd like to ask you a few questions. I want to learn about your situation, your problem, and offer you a couple solutions or what I would do in your situation. Is that okay? And then you ask me a few questions. And at the end of this conversation, maybe we'll do business. Maybe I'll make you an offer. And if not, would you do me a small favor? If not, would you fire me? Would you just say no? Would you hang up the phone on me? It's okay. You don't have to say, I'll think about it. I'll call you later. Why don't we just have an adult to adult conversation? Now that's called an agenda step. It's very simple once you've practiced it a few times. And what you're doing is setting the rules, the guidelines with the prospect on how we're going to behave. So at the end, they say, I want to, like Mike said there, I have to ask my wife. I say, hey, Mike, remember in the beginning, we just said, if you don't feel comfortable with my product or service or whatever I'm offering you, why don't we just say no right now? Fire me. It's okay. But the problem will still be there. and you told me A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's why you need to get those 3 to 6 needs and greets up front. You've got to get the prospect talking more than you. We call that in, I have another book here. Let me get it, show you. It's called The Rules of Guts. Here it is. And in the rules, this is another book I wrote. These are all on my webpage, claudediamond.com. This is not a sales commercial, don't worry. There is a free book, though, I'm giving away today to anybody who goes to the link in my little chat there. And in the Rules of Guts, it's a funny book I wrote on sales. The salesperson, it's called the 75-25 rule. And the salesperson should be doing more talking, revealing more truths, qualifying themselves so that you can overcome all these objections and get them emotionally involved. What's another? Give me another stall or objection. So when they say, I'll ask my wife, you say, hey, we said in the beginning, why don't we just say it's over? So you see how important it is. I'll say something very controversial right now. In my gut system, and I get in trouble saying this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I believe the salesperson comes first. Now, this goes against everything you've ever learned, okay? I am a little controversial, but I believe most people that I work with, that I train, I've been training people for a long time, and I know most of them are good products, good companies, they're coaches, they're mentors, they do, I have a lot of real estate salespeople, life insurance, finance people, car sales, high-end car sales, Audi and Rolls-Royce and stuff like that. And they do business honestly, ethically. They want to give people good value. And yes, they want to make money. And I think if you're working hard and giving good value and excellent customer service, as I know you're doing, aren't you entitled to be compensated, to be paid, to get a contract, to get a commitment, to make money today? I believe you are. Okay. I know here's the worst thing I can say to my students. You're a nice guy or girl, aren't you? When the prospect goes, oh, this is great. This is wonderful. Thank you. Send me the information. I'll think it over. I'll talk to my spouse, my significant other, and I'll get back to you in the near distant future. What does that bullshit mean? Bullshit. It means nothing. It means you didn't make a sale. It means you were on the phone, you drove in your car, you sent information, you gave a free consultation, and you were not compensated. Do you believe that you should be compensated when you do a great job for a good company or your own company and your own products or service? Do you believe that you're entitled to be compensated? Damn right you are. And that's why you got to have the guts to rule the world. But if you're this person, oh, no rush, call me when you want and everything. See, can you tell by now I'm a transplanted New Yorker? There's one great thing about New Yorkers. They cut to the chase. They eliminate the bullshit. They speak their mind. A little abrasive sometimes, okay? And what I've done with Guts is kind of taken the best things I think from New York. My mentor was from New York. He lived in New Jersey. And he was great as a salesperson, but he was so direct. People loved him. He was charismatic. He had this ability to get people to know, like, and trust him very quickly. He had this intuitive ability to get people, hey, and just talk with them so casually. He really had a system, but he couldn't explain it. He was what you call a natural. I was not a natural. I'm the former world's worst salesperson, right? Honestly. It's too expensive. Another one with Mike. Hey, Mike, I wish we could share stuff on this. Next time, maybe I'll use Zoom when I do streaming on YouTube. I wanted to use this method just because I love the chats and the comments and things in there. It's too expensive. You're right, Mr. You're right, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. It is expensive. Why do you think my product, my service costs so much more than there's so many other people out there much cheaper than me. You brought up a good point. Take a guess. Why do you think my company, my product, my service costs more? You're a smart person. What do you think? Now, off the role play, you see I'm turning it around. Don't be defensive of your price, okay? Price, my mentor used to always say, price is never an objection to doing business if the need is great enough. Does anyone want the cheapest heart surgeon? You know, well, gee, doctor, you're so much more than that guy who just graduated from medical school. That's right, because I've done 100 operations, and boom. It's about valuation, and it's about emotion involved. Okay, so when someone says I'm expensive, I'll say you're right. You're right. And if you hear this objection, Mike, often enough, you need to have a couple solutions. Okay. Turn a question into a question is the key. Gee, why do you think we charge more than my competition? Take a guess. I don't know if it one-on-one accountability, customer service, faster delivery. And think of the things that you have. Hey, listen. Here's a good comeback, Mike. Hey, you know what? If price is your only consideration for purchasing the product or service, I can give you some of my competitors. They're much cheaper than me. And so, but you may not get the solutions in a timely manner that you're looking for, the delivery that you're looking for, the outcome. Okay. I have a real estate background, been in real estate a long time, still am. I love real estate. And then I kind of saw the problems that most people in real estate had. Number one problem, they couldn't sell. They couldn't give away $20 bills on the street corner. Doesn't matter how smart you are, how many seminars you went to, how much money you spend on leads, can you close? It is the art and science of persuasion. It is the $1 million skill. So you've got to learn the techniques, the psychology, combined with the thespian skills. Not a dirty word. Thespian means an actor, okay? And you've got to put that psychology and those acting skills together in a system so that you are having fun on the way to the bank. It is the million. And the way you get good at this is you got to practice with somebody. This is what I do with my students every day. I have a lot of students. I've been doing this for a while, and we role play and we practice the biggest objections, the biggest problems they have, and we offer a multitude of solutions, applying the logic of how to sell them. So most salespeople, Mike, I think you triggered me with that. It's too expensive. That was a good one. Most people, when they get a stall or an objection, they get defensive. Okay, you got to ask yourself, when I act defensive, well, we charge more because now what I say to them, great question, glad you brought it up. Why do you think, we are more expensive than our competition, but there's a reason why. And I don't know if that's important to you or not. Don't be defensive of your product or service. And who cares if you charge more? It's a question of, in their mind, what is the valuation, what the perception of value that they are taking away from you? Okay, somebody's going to sell a Lexus and Audi. My son just bought a brand new Audi. It's a good kid, knows how to sell, knows how to communicate. And why did he get an Audi compared to maybe a Hyundai or a Honda or something that are much cheaper, maybe 50% cheaper? Why do people buy more? Prestige sometimes, ego, valuation, safety. It retains its value better. There's a million reasons why people buy. There's some people, they wear $50,000, $100,000 watches. I got my favorite watch, my iWatch here, which I love because I exercise, I run every day. But the thing is, you've got to put in their mind and turn their questions into your questions. Overcoming stalls and objections is easy, but make the prospect do all the work. Great question. You must have asked that for a reason. Can you help me out? Well, it is more expensive. You're right. And listen, if you want to talk to your wife, maybe let's just say it's over at this point. Excuse me, going to blow my nose. I didn't think anyone wanted to see that on camera. Sorry, stuff happens when you're going live here. I'm in Colorado right now drinking Colorado Sleepy Time tea from Boulder, Colorado. Wish they were a sponsor. Absolutely. Let me look at my notes here. The way you get good at overcoming objections is to write them down, anticipate them, set up an agenda up front, tell them the rules. Okay, say the things that are. I had to blow my nose. I'm sorry. I'm a human being. Good thing I don't have to go to the bathroom. What do you do in your life? I guess you just go off the camera. Um, the thing is, practice. Write down those objections that you normally get. You probably, no matter what business you people are in, you probably get the same objections all the time, the same things. And objections mean you have to overcome those objections. And sometimes if you do it the right way, or you fire the prospect, you use authority. One of my clients said the objection he received the other day was, I want to take the contract. It was a real estate client. He said, I have to take my contract. I want to have my contract checked by my attorney before I sign it. Now, the amateur salesperson might say, oh, why do you have to do the attorney and everything? It'll just be expensive, cost you money. I can go over the contract with you. In the guts, we would overcome that objection by saying, good for you. I think that's a really smart idea. It's always good to have an extra set of eyes on that contract. And I'll tell you what, you take it to your attorney, but I need you to get it back to me so we can open escrow in 48 hours, 72 hours, by Friday. Set parameters, set rules, set conditions, so that even when you see, if you argue with them, oh, you don't want to take it to your attorney and everything like that, what's going on in their mind? This is where empathy comes in. What do you think they're thinking and feeling? And so you have to anticipate, if they say this, that, hey, I think that's a great idea. But if you'd like, I could go over the agreement with you right now, step by step. We could meet on Zoom or something like that. And if not, I think it's great. You take it to your attorney, but I need that contract back. Today's Wednesday, for instance. It is Wednesday. I need that contract signed and back through DocuSign or Hello. I use HelloSign through Dropbox. I need it back by Friday. Well, I don't know if I can get it back by Friday. Well, I guess it's over then. I'm not going to sit around all day waiting for you, leaving voicemails, back having been, I'm ready to do business today. If you want to take it to your attorney, it's fine, but I need that contract back today, tomorrow morning, or the day after. That's what I need. Excuse me one more time. I'm 9,500 above sea level here, and the pollen count is very high. It's turning into fall here, and the aspen leaves. Thank gosh I have my box of Boohoo tissues. I only bring out my box of Boohoo tissues when my nose is running or when somebody starts whining. Have you ever had a client or somebody and they start whining? I pull these out. Oh, that's so sad. I have a lot of fun in sales. Okay. And I'll talk in another video at another time about marketing. I only work with warm prospects. Who doesn't love warm prospects? And you better have a system. If you're doing a lot of cold calling, you better have a system where you convert the cold calls to warm. Otherwise, you're just going to get frustrated and procrastinate. Okay, procrastination means that you go clean your toilet or something instead of making those phone calls because you anticipate people are going to dislike you, reject you, be rude to you, curse at you, and everything else. You have to use something called pattern interrupts. That's maybe I'll do that tomorrow or Friday. I'll talk a little bit about that. Converting all cold calls to warm calls is a skill. It is a gift. It is charismatic selling. Overcoming objections, our topic for today. You got to believe that you have rights in the sales process, okay? You have the right to ask questions. And sometimes the prospect will ask you questions, and you have to turn their questions into your questions. Well, why are you more expensive? Why can't you deliver it on time? How come we can't start until we have to wait until November or something like that? Well, that's a good question. Why did you bring that up? Why is that important to you? Could you help me out? I'm taking notes here, and I'd like to, I'm so glad you brought that up, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect. always turn a question into a question, but add something we call stroking or a sincere compliment to acknowledge people. We're going to do a live thing on acknowledgement with people. Part of charismatic selling, getting people to know, like, and trust you, is to give them what I do. I do this signal here when I pat myself on the shoulder. That's called a stroke. It's a compliment. It's a thank you. It's an acknowledgement to people. And it's so important. The key to really good selling and overcoming objections is to not sound like a salesperson. Okay. Did anyone wake up this morning and say, gee, I want to talk to an insurance salesperson or something like that? You have to, and this goes back to your marketing, you have to put out content on a consistent basis that addresses the most important contemporary issues in the world of the product or service you're selling. I work with a lot of people in real estate who want to close more deals, and I teach them my sales system. And I always put out little videos or longer ones like this. We're going to end this in a few minutes here. I've been on about 25 minutes. So that they're following you, they subscribe to you, they go to your webpage, and you generate leads. You generate prospects, people you can send further information to, and eventually they're going to call you or schedule with you, and you're going to have a conversation, and you love that. I have a thing, I made a note here. It's called my rule of 5. It's basically, I have a basic rule. I want to speak to 5 warm prospects a day. I don't care if they called me, they schedule with me, they texted me. I got a lot of people schedule with me every day. I limit it to X amount because I speak to at least 5 to 8 of my own clients every day for 15 to 30 minutes. And we role play and just focus on sales. The people I work with on the G.U.T. sales method, they are the best salespeople in the world. They have a system, they use it, and they make phenomenal incomes. I'm talking high 5 and 6 figures per month because they are the 1%ers. They understand the art and science of persuasion. Overcoming objections, the best person to overcome any objection is the prospect. Okay. What's another one? I got to check my finances. Have you ever heard that? Well, sir, you're fine. I mean, let's face it. You probably know what your finances are right now, right? I mean, you must have some idea about what your balance is on your credit card, how much money you have in the bank or under your mattress. Sir, if finances are a challenge to you right now, why don't we just say it's over? Now that it's over, let me ask you something. If money wasn't an objection, let's forget about the money part right now. Would you still want to buy my product or service? Let's just forget about the money completely. Take the money out of the picture. Would you like to buy my product? Could you use my product? Or would you rather just say no at this point? Now, what you're hoping to get is a commitment from them. And if you have the ability to finance or offer third-party finance, that's when you bring it in. That's how you overcome that. Let me check my finances. It's, which is what are they really saying when they say, let me check my finances? They're saying, I ain't got the money, dude. So you better have a solution to that problem. Hopefully, whatever you're selling you can do financing. You can be the bank. You can offer a third party or another investor or somebody else to solve this problem. You've got to be aware of what are the most common objections you're going to get. What do we have? A little question here. Mine is when I make a real estate offer, your offer is too low. Oh, well, okay. What do you think is a fair offer then? Bubble wrap. I love that name. Great name. Your offer is too low. Oh, what did you think is a fair offer, Mr. and Mrs. Prospect? What are you looking for? What would you need from me, Mr. Prospect, in order to do a deal today? Turn it around, get them talking, get them offering. And here's what I do for you people in real estate. I offer, this is worth writing down. I say this every day, several times. Mr. and Mrs. Prospect, I'd love to do I'm going to make you an offer today. I say that, by the way, in the very beginning. I'm going to ask you questions. You ask me a few. If we can do business, great. If not, you don't have to say you'll think about it or talk to somebody else. You can just say it's over. You can say, Claude, you're fired. I don't mind. I might cry a little, get out my little boohoo tissues, but don't worry about it. But what a price or terms is what I talk about, sir. I'll tell you what. If you want to give me if you can lower your price, I can do all cash and I can close in a very short time frame, a time value of money. If you'd like a higher price or market price, the only way I can make money for myself or my company is if we get terms. Would you like to do a lease option on that property? I can give, or would you like to do owner finance or subject to, where we take over the existing finance? I can give you closer to the market price if you give me terms. If you want all cash, who doesn't, then I need a discount. And then you can state a number if you want, 18%, 25%, 30%, price or terms. The thing about it is you want to have a sense of urgency right now so that you get a commitment today. Make sure you're speaking to the decision maker. You guys knew that, right? Make sure you're speaking to the person who can make the commitment, make the decision today. Make sure that you're qualifying them for what's their level of motivation, their pain, their needs, their desires. Okay, we're emotional salespeople. The $1 million rule: people make decisions emotionally quickly, very quickly. If you give them, like most of your competition, you're going to give them the features and benefits and hi, how are you today? And just reaching at the California speech. Okay. I live in San Diego also, by the way. So I can say that the la-di-da, the nice approach. Okay. It's where you talk all kinds of BS and too much bonding and rapport for 20 minutes. Okay. I tend to cut to the chase. Mr. and Mr. Prospect, what do you need from me in order for us to do business today? Would you like price or terms? What's the best price you can give me? Can you do any better than that if I send you a commitment today? If I send you a check or a money or wire transfer today? Okay, get them talking. Okay, and if they want a higher price, make sure you have a solution. Alternative, you can use terms. When you get a contract with terms, it's very easy to wholesale it, to remarket it, to, as I say, arbitrage it to a third party. It's very easy because you've eliminated the bank. In negotiation, you have to create a value. And for you people in real estate or contract negotiation, make sure you're negotiating an assignable contract that creates value to another person. So if I get, let's just say an argument here, and then I got to go, guys. You're negotiating with somebody and they say, your price is too low. I say, okay, I'll give you full price if you give me terms. Okay. And you said you own this land free and clear. That's fine. I'll give you want 110. I want to give you 85, but you want full price. I'll give you $100,000 if you hold the mortgage. Can we do that? And I'll give you 1,000 down, 1,000 a month, principal only payments. Then, or you amortize it with interest, and you amortize it at 10, 15, 20 years. You add balloons. I don't want to get into that too much because read Jimmy Naper's book, Invest in Debt, DEBT. Great book. You've got to learn how to structure notes and things like that. Now, you have a note or a contract. Can you sell it to another person? Say, hey, no bank. You can take over this property right now. It's assignable. I negotiated the terms. It's 1,000 down, 1,000 a month, principal only payments. And you sell that for X amount of dollars. That's called an assignment fee. There's many solutions to overcoming objections. You want to get them emotionally involved, but you want to stay intellectual. You want to stay cognizant when you're negotiating with people. Absolutely. So don't worry, set that agenda. To summarize here, write down a list of your main objections, turn a question into a question, find out their level of motivation. One other thing I love to talk about, the EQ, the emotional quotient. How emotionally involved are they? Are they a 1, 2, or 3? They just don't care. Are they a 4, 5, 6? There's a possibility. Or are they an 8, 9, 10? They're a hot prospect. When they're a hot prospect, you go for the close, the commitment as quickly as possible. You set your agenda, you move up to your qualification, and then you go to your third step, your close. My name is Claude Diamond. If you guys who came in late, go to claudediamond.com. It's in my chat notes there or something, and I'll send you my free book here. Okay. I usually send the digital PDF, but if I have a few hard copies if anyone wants it. Learn a sales system. Learn how to ask questions, not give boring presentations. Learn how to make the prospect do all the work. You will double, triple your sales. You will have so much more fun in sales. Sales is the $1 million skill. God, word of honor, changed my life. Okay, I was the guy who always knocked on the door, and I did the Tommy Hopkins and the Dale Carnegie yes for the order 5 times. Didn't work. All I got was the I'll think about it. So I'll talk to my spouse. Your offers too. All those great objections. Thank you guys for helping me, by the way. I do appreciate it. Focus on your sales. You're good people. I know you guys work hard. I know you guys sell quality products. I know you want to give value. You're honest, decent, hardworking people. I know you. I've met you all these years. But what's the difference between somebody who becomes a self-made millionaire, who makes more money than they'll ever need, and can enjoy this great life in this wonderful country? It's sales. The ability to persuade, to influence another person by the use of your words, the right words at the right time, with the right psychological aspect, the right thespian skills. Put it all together in a system, and you are free at last. No one deserves success more than you, good people. My name is Claude Diamond. I do answer my own phone, 619-206-5960, or go to claudediamond.com, and you guys have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye-bye.